Had to dig out the old untitled DVD box set for this one. Alright, season finale time, and what a topical one it is. After all, Time Flight is all about Concords disappearing, so you could make whatever connection you want, take your pick from the numerous news headlines. Now that I say it out loud, it's not as funny as it was in my head. Play the intro.
We're in the 80s.
If my time-space calculations are correct, this video will be uploaded on Friday, the 15th of August, right after the debut episode of Alien Earth premieres on Disney+, and the day after we're supposed to finally get Doctor Who, The War Games, colorized in New Zealand. Allegedly. What say you, future me? Did we finally get physical media arrive on time in the country?
Ha! No.
Of course not. However, at the time of recording, I've only just uploaded my Black Orchid review, so I have no idea what the viewer response will be to my Earthshock review. But I'm just mentioning it because I did discuss the fallout from Adric's demise at the end of that video, so I won't be bringing it up again here. If you haven't seen my Earthshock review, why not? Was it not good enough? I tried my best. I'm sorry. Anyway, Time Flight is the 4-part final to Season 19, bringing the adventures of 1982 to a close. And what a season it has been. A lot more positive surprises than I was expecting. And a lot more stories that I had already seen before than usual. I wish I could remember the exact circumstances, but at some point in 2009 or 10, I would have sat down and watched Four to Doomsday, Black Orchid, and Time Flight with my folks. And maybe Earthshock. But again, more on that confusion in my Earthshock review. Yes, in this one's case, I vaguely remember an ugly-looking creature, some kind of foggy environment, and an aeroplane. So, no significant plot details have stuck with me after all these years, which doesn't exactly bode well for the memorability factor, but hey, like I've already stated, I've enjoyed much of this season, so I headed into this one ready to be impressed. Spoiler alert, I wasn't exactly impressed. The plot, as convoluted and ever-changing as it was at times, goes something like this. After their recent loss, the Fifth Doctor promises Nyssa and Tegan a short holiday of sorts. A quick bit of respite to help take their mind off things. Naturally, the TARDIS then interprets this as, oh, well, it must finally be time to take Tegan to Heathrow Airport like she's been trying to get to since the Fourth Doctor's era. They arrive just in time to help solve the disappearance of a Concorde aircraft, and that's the basic setup. But it goes all over the place from there, with mind-controlled passengers, hallucinations, twist reveals, and, quite frankly, an awful lot of cringe. Yes, my friends, to begin with, my willingness to overlook certain dated aspects, such as special effects and campy dialogue, more campy than usual, was being pushed to its absolute limit. You gotta switch your brain into full, just accept it mode, otherwise you're just gonna get completely taken out of it. Which means, yes, this is a serial where you really have to actively put in the work to remain invested. Safe to say, it isn't an easy watch. You have to overlook a lot. I'm not kidding either. From what I can tell, Time Flight doesn't have the greatest reputation, but again, I'm generally clueless when it comes to popular opinion regarding old school Doctor Who. But after a first episode that had me narrowing my eyes like, is this just a bunch of bullshit? Then something like this happens and yes, I see. Very good. It's going to be one of those ones, is it? There's a lot of that in this story. Peter Davison says something along the lines of, it was a good script, but we ran out of money near the end. You don't say! Yeah, you can really tell. But that's also not really an excuse for some of the more bonkers moments that had me doing a double take. Look, if I was to stand here and list off every single little thing that had me doing that blinking in disbelief meme, we'd be here all day. But you know me and how much I can't resist the urge to point out one or two. Oh, hi, Adric. Bye, Adric. You might be forklift certified, but are you forklift carrying a TARDIS certified? I don't think so. But if you are, hey, bravo. And lucky last, there's this thing. I can't really tell if this is some sort of racial stereotype or just one very ugly alien. Perhaps a mixture of both.
I am Khalid.
Yeesh, definitely both. Pretty sure whatever that thing is overlooked because of the associated plot twist that I won't spoil for you here. An admittedly pretty decent plot twist that was spoiled for me by frickin' Wikipedia. Yep, just another thing I advise not thinking about too hard. Yes, I'm fully aware that this review video is getting quite disjointed, but that's reflective of the serial itself. And honestly, I'm just struggling to come up with much to say about Time Flight. It's not, I don't think, it isn't terrible, but if it wasn't obvious by now with the amount of times I've said it, you have to overlook a lot of junk to find the potential hidden underneath. Like there's some genuine, clever ideas scattered around, but more often than not, it's let down by naff production values. I personally fluctuated between being a bit lost until the explanation would come, then I would have the reaction of, oh, really? Alright, bit weak, but whatever, on to the next thing. Oh, now Nissa's suddenly got telepathy? What? Just on and on like that. It eventually got to the point where, for me, it felt like a lot of empty words. Benign intelligence, 50% good working for us, 50% evil working against us. I'm not going to pretend it makes sense, or even that I fully understand it, but in the end, I get what the story was doing for the most part. And like I said, it didn't really impress me. Yup, I think it's pretty safe to say Time Flight is not an essential watch, and I'm more than likely going to go on to forget all about it again. But hey, the Doctor mentions Unit for the first time in years, so that's a 10 out of 10 for someone. While not the strongest beginning or end of a season, I still reckon I'm going to look back pretty fondly on season 19. I'm still a bit iffy on the 5th Doctor's performance. He doesn't seem to be a particularly well-defined incarnation to me yet. But then again, maybe that just goes to show how one note the first 4 could be at times. No, that's not right. The previous 4 Doctors all have varied and multifaceted performances, and that's not one note at all. Maybe one day I'll figure out my feelings on the 5th Doctor. Nyssa and Tegan are perfectly serviceable companions, also fluctuating between having important relevance to the plot and just standing in the background. Still, I'm looking forward to season 20. Oh, I almost forgot! They accidentally left Tegan behind. If only. Welcome to the end screen. Thank you very much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate your time. I know Tegan's going to be back next week, so no sense in pretending otherwise. Hopefully you'll see me next week too when I cover Arc of Infinity. I'm going to bed.